Live from the Export Beer Garden Studios, this is The Agenda for the 20th of October.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
G'day there, welcome along to The Agenda podcast with G Lane, and geez, great to have you back, Matt Heath.
Yeah, it seems like a while since I've been on this here Agenda podcast.
Well, you're on leave, you went away, you cursed your favourite team.
Oh my God.
The Dodgers. You went to LA on a sports
It's called
trip.
there's a theory on it. It's called the G Lane theorem, and the further a New Zealander flies to see their team play, the less likely their team is to win.
Yeah.
And so I was very excited because the Dodgers won 111 games in the season, a franchise record, and they were going into the postseason with a very easy Padres to beat in the National League Division Series. So I went to Dodger Stadium, watched them one day. I had the best seats. I wasn't far behind Jason Bateman. I bankrupted myself to have the best seats. Incredible seats.
I saw a photo. Look, you were pretty much...
Yeah, I was in Bateman territory.
Did you get any fly balls come near you?
Nah, not really in that position where you can because you're sort of behind the netting, so the foul can't quite go over. So the foul balls are sort of a little bit further around. But we won that one, and then the next game that I went to the next night, a goose landed on the shallow right field in the seventh innings, and me and about, I'm going to say, 15,000 Mexicans in the area I was sitting in were chanting "Luck Duck," and I think we misnamed it. It was a goose. It was a goose, and I think that caused a curse to misname the goose. Plus, the goose was marched out of the stadium much like Murphy the goat in the famous Curse of the Goat, Billy Goat, the Cubs situation, where a goat, Murphy the goat, was unlawfully marched out of Wrigley Field. And I think the goose being captured, and I've never heard anyone boo so much when the goose was captured, apart from when Kim Kardashian appeared at SoFi Stadium a few days ago, and before that when I was at Rams. But I think removing the goose and people misnaming him the Luck Duck, because the Padres fans were calling it the Rally Goose, Rally Goose.
Rally Goose.
Well, the Padres were going to rally and win the game,
and they did,
and they got it right. We called it the Duck, and I think that might be it for the Dodgers. I think they might have a similar sort of situation to the Cubs, where they don't win for 70 odd years.
Hell of a trip.
Yeah,
hell of a trip.
Yeah, it was all on. I tell you what, if you get a chance to go to SoFi Stadium, the $10 billion New Zealand dollar stadium that the Rams play at, and the Chargers, boy oh boy.
Yeah, it looks pretty incredible. Like even watching the Super Bowl there. Yeah. Like, I can't even get my head around how massive it is, and they've got that huge jumbotron in the middle. Yeah,
that is incredible because it's just hanging down like 40 meters above the field. So you just got this full video screen, so you just see everything, and so much hype. Oh my God, the hype in there! Jesus Christ, you feel like there's gonna people, because it was Cowboys Dodgers, and the Cowboys fans. Like, this guy came up to me, a Cowboys fan, and he was just like...
And you're in full Ramily.
Yeah, Ramily, full Ram gears. And he goes, how does it feel to be playing a road game in your own town? Ah! And I'm like, yeah, because there was so many Cowboys fans there in the stadium. And so the Cowboys, fans were louder than the Rams fans.
But they give each other shit without punching each other in the face.
I know. They drink so much. Like, everyone's so drunk. And when you walk into the stadium, you just get shots. Like, people in bikinis are just handing you tequila shots as you go in.
Where is this utopia?
Yeah, and then you get in there and the beers are huge, and they don't even pop the beers before you take them to your seat. You can just take your beers to the seat.
So they trust that you're not going to hiff your expensive beer onto the field.
Yeah, they do. And then you just get so steamed, and everyone just abuses the shit out of each other, like Cowboys fans, and everything's so hyped up. You think there's going to be a fight, but there's just not. It's just so fucking good. And they actually care. Like, they actually passionately care about their teams. It's quite interesting.
Oh, that's great. And I heard there was a few famous people at the Rams game as well that got put on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, so Cedric the Entertainer, he was put up on the screen because he was in some kind of corporate area, got a massive cheer, followed by Magic Johnson. And I felt like the SoFi Stadium might fall down with how excited people were to see Magic Johnson.
Oh, LA Lakers.
And then there was Danny Trejo, the actor.
Yeah,
and he also runs. I think he was mainly getting cheered for his delicious taco franchise he's got in LA, Trio Tacos. And then Kim Kardashian came onto the screen wherever she was in the stadium, and I've never heard as loud a boo in my life. It went on for about 8 minutes. People just booing and booing and booing. They took her off the screen, like all ages, genders, sexes, races all came together for how much they hated Kim Kardashian. And the best part about it is it just booed and booed and booed. And I actually saw this made world news, how much she was booed. But then it stopped, and there was like about a beat of about 3 seconds, and then everyone in the stadium laughed at how much they've been booing, because everyone was like,
"Oh, there is faith. I've got faith in humanity now. I have got faith in humanity that happened in LA as well.
Yeah,
because it just seems so odd that they're even anything. But
well,
that's good.
At Dodger Stadium, they put Jason Bateman up on the screen because he goes to nearly every Dodgers game. He's a huge fan, and he got cheered, but he was wearing like a hat down over his eyes so you could hardly see him, and a hoodie. Like he was, you could tell he was a true Dodgers fan because he didn't want to be recognised.
Yeah.
And when they put him on the screen, he went just to this meek wave, and then the whole stadium went crazy because everyone loves Jason Bateman, and he's a big fan. But I think it was that they cut to, like, Magic Johnson's just sitting there, he's got a beer in his hand, he's just waving. But when they cut to Kim Kardashian, it was like a photo shoot. She was all made up and it was all prepared, and she was sitting there ready to pose. And that doesn't, when you've got 72,000 drunk as fuck football fans, they just want to see a drunk Cedric the Entertainer pass out in a seat. You know, they don't.
Also, I've seen so much footage of NBA games, especially where, last year there was a trend where, if you're on camera and you've got a beer in your hand, you've got to biff it.
Yeah.
And so celebrities, athletes were just biffing beers left, right and centre, put on the Jumbotron, crowd goes crazy. Happened in New Zealand, cancelled. You'd be like, we've done it before. I mean, you can't cancel the willing, but no celebrity or semi-B grade, C grade celebrity would even dare
just to drain it.
Dare take even more than a gulp without getting hauled up by the Alcohol Advisory Board and NIMBYs. Oh, that's not good role modelling. It's like, shut up. Just because you can drink something fast, anything, then that's irresponsible.
What are we worried about in New Zealand in terms of our alcohol laws at sports venues? Because, there's just, advertising for everywhere, and you can just drink as much as you want. And, as I say, shots going to, unlimited booze being sold on the street, going to Dodger Stadium and so forth. No fights. There's no trouble. Everyone's the friendliest people. They abuse each other to each other's face, but it's with a smile on, like the fans. There's no trouble. Like, why do we think that there would just suddenly be a riot if people could drink alcohol?
Well, because you get treated like a threat. You behave like a threat.
Yeah.
It's like you get patted down, you get watched the whole time, so you're like, fuck it, I'm going to do something fucking stupid now. That's what my general instinct is. If I get treated like that, I'm going to behave like that.
Yeah, I might tidy my bedroom, but if Mum asks me to, I'm not doing that. Even if I want my room tidy, I'm going to hold off for 2 days to tidy it because I've been asked to do it. That's the kind of attitude that New Zealanders take to drinking. It's like, if you're going to restrict it, well, fuck you. We're going to drink. We'll get fucked up. I'm going to urinate everywhere.
Start a fight. But also, where's the rule around how fast or slow you can drink one drink? Where's the law? Where's the law that says you got a pint of beer? You have to drink that between 15 and 20 minutes. That's the optimal time, okay? Yeah. Well, where's the law? If I want to drink a pint in 4 seconds, I'll fucking drink a pint in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay? But that is deemed as irresponsible. But what if I'm just having one? I've got to go pick the kids up from school. Yeah. I've got 5 minutes for a beer with my mates. Yeah. I'm going to biff it.
Yeah, right.
And then I'll go pick the kids up. But that's seen as irresponsible.
Yeah, and it's interesting over there, like you can buy in SoFi Stadium there's 700ml Stellas. They don't open them.
That's a big. Are they cans or are they in big
cans? They're these
king
fucking
cans.
giant king cans that I've never seen before. Like you get the 500ml. These are 700ml cans, maybe even 750. It's like, and
the way you're holding it like that, it's not good.
Yeah, it's like shit, I was pissed though, I tell you.
That's big bag Barry you're putting in your mouth.
I was so drunk like that I started getting into a big so my mate Spooge, there was this terrifying guy in front of us that had all head tattoos. Like a giant, looked like a gang guy. Yeah. Like terrifying.
Like in prison kind
prison
of
tattoos, giant guy.
Mexican?
And he was actually Latino guy. And he was massive, and he was a huge Cowboys fan. And my mate spilled an entire beer down his neck from behind.
Oh,
just a whole beer. Like it was like glug, 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 glug. It was just kept going. And I was like, I guess we die here because this is America and people have guns, and I don't know what's going to happen here. And the guy turned around and goes, wow, that calls me out. He was like, thanks for that. Woo! He was just
fucking hell.
And then he was our mate for the rest of the thing.
How did Spooge manage to spill 700 mils of...
Because he tripped it and then it got sort of wedged in the back seat and couldn't get it out. And as he was getting it out, it was emptying more and more down the back of the guy's neck.
I could just see it as well. He'd be like...
And the seats are quite tight. So the guy was sort of going, whoa! And then I was like, okay, here, let's go. And he was like, well, thank you. He was very funny about it.
Oh, that's
anyway,
great.
Enough of my holidays.
First on the agenda, cricket. T20 World Cup kicks off this Saturday. Australia v New Zealand.
Well, so what have all these other games been? So there's sort of a division situation. There's the losers division.
Yeah.
And Sri Lanka, they are a nation that enjoys a huge humiliation, don't they?
Oh my God, they won the Asian Cup. They beat India, they beat Pakistan, they beat Bangladesh. They won the Asian Cup just recently, a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and then the UAE.
Yeah.
So who plays cricket in the UAE? Are they
they're all
imports?
Expat Indian.
And are they investing money, the UAE and the team?
They are actually. Yeah. They are.
Because they actually looked handy.
Yeah, because they've got quite good facilities there now because they want to host World Cups. They want to host Pakistan. So they do invest. But it is like purgatory. That this build-up tournament is purgatory for the two teams that are in it, and that is Sri Lanka and West Indies. Yeah. So they didn't qualify for the big show. So they've got to go to purgatory. And they've got to go to like detention and hang out with the shit kids.
But the shit kids include teams like Ireland and
Scotland.
Yeah, teams and like Ireland could beat West Indies.
Yeah, and Netherlands. Yeah, and West Indies. Obviously, they did lose to Namibia. Yeah. So
you're already in the
Oh no, was it? They lost to Namibia. Or was it Sri Lanka that lost? Sri Lanka lost to someone
else.
That's
like being held back a year at school and still being the dumbest person in class.
Yeah, I know. That has felt like they've been held back, and they're behaving like the bad kids. You know, you go to detention and the kid in the background's...
I don't want to try anyway. I don't try anyway.
Yeah, so you hang out with them and go, oh, fuck this. I'm not. Fuck the T20. But I think the top 4 teams go through. So I think West Indies and Sri Lanka will go through. But they'll probably face tougher opposition when they get there.
Yeah, right.
That's
so all. The first game is
the big show.
Yep.
The big show. Kicks off on Saturday.
Yeah.
And New Zealand are playing Australia in Sydney at the Sydney Cricket Ground at 8:00 in the ACC. We're commentating it.
How good
on Sky Sport 9.
I think what augurs well for the Black Caps over there is getting absolutely smashed in a warm-up game.
Oh my God!
The last thing you want to do is do well in a warm-up game in a T20 because it's hit and giggle. There's a certain bit of luck in it. Yeah. You just do not want to. You don't want to have your guy that's going to go once in an entire tournament go in the wrong game.
We got humiliated by South Africa.
Yeah,
but it was one of those things where they've had 14 players. Southee and Bolt weren't allowed to bowl.
Right.
It was a bit of a hit and giggle.
Yeah.
But it's T20. Fucking anything could happen.
Yeah,
we can fart our way into it.
We've got to punch his chance.
Yeah. Can you remember the last time we commentated a World Cup? It was the time we got thrown out.
2015. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we've been banned since then. So
we can't even we're not even in the country this time, so we can't. No. Surely we can't be thrown out.
Wow.
The ICC's still going to be sniffing around.
Oh, they'll be sniffing around.
They're trying to throw us out of our own studio.
Don't you worry about that. But I saw a little bit of cricket content coming out of Kane Williamson's Instagram, and I'm going to have to show you this.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll play the audio. But here is his latest ad he's filmed for a Indian, I think it may be a sports betting or something or other. Here, check this out.
Dream 11, Pekelo, New Zealand, Kesari matches, Ojito. It's everybody prizes.
He's nailed the
language. The Indian, I don't know if it's Hindi or
Hindi,
but look. Like you'll have to have to go onto the ACC Instagram and have a look at it. But it is.
He jumps over an elephant.
But not over an elephant. He jumps over an elephant like it's on South Park. They've just cut him out like 1D and flipped him over an elephant. For some reason, it's an elephant as well. Like I don't know what's going on. But I love seeing.
What kind of payday you reckon he'd get for that?
Oh,
good money.
A lot of money. A lot of money. Because back in the day, remember when it's almost like. That Bill Murray movie, when he goes to Japan to film
Lost in Translation.
They'd go to Japan and they'd film these humiliating whiskey ads and stuff because they knew that no one would ever see them.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they would go and do them and not care because it didn't do their reputation any harm back in America. But what's happening
now it gets thrown up on social media as soon as they do it.
Correct. So you see Trent Bolt and everyone else have to film these stuff for their IPL team, and immediately within a millisecond it's back in New Zealand and everyone's mocking it. So, but I think they just lean into it. Why not? You're getting you paid for it. But also out of the cricket, the Aussies, they're trying to work the system. They're trying to. Apparently, they've got kind of very selective memories. The Australians, when David Warner and Steve Smith were the world's worst people and world's worst cricketers, they banned them from ever captaining Australia again. Well, they're sniffing around. They're sniffing around trying to get David Warner back into the captaincy.
Right.
They're trying to overturn that ban.
Well, like, is there no one else that can captain that they have to get him?
I know. Surely there's someone else. Mitchell Starc. For fuck's sake.
I mean, there's lots of people that don't captain teams. But does it have to be David Warner, who's
the Big Show?
one fuckwit?
The Big Show.
Yeah.
I'm warming to the Big Show.
Yeah, the Big Show. I've got time for the Big Show. He's got giant head. But, that doesn't... Yeah, come on. You can't do that.
I know.
Get
Anyway,
out.
so this Saturday kicks off Sky Sport 9 ACC coverage. You don't need to sync it with anything. You just have to get onto Sky Sport 9, download Sky Sport now, and it's on there as well. And, we'll see if we can last longer than we did in 2015. Golf news. John Daly. There's going to be a movie made out about John Daly, and they've picked Jonah Hill to play John Daly.
I thought you were going to say, I thought a good John Daly would be bloody Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah, would be, but I don't know if he hasn't quite got the physique, though, has he?
Yeah, he's pretty fat now, but but no, actually, that is a good choice for John Daly. So what is it going to be, like a serious biopic or a comedy or what?
I don't know. It's biopic. I'd say there'd be a fair bit of comedy in it, but it's a biopic, so it's semi-serious, but I'd say there'd be some pretty funny shit in it, because John Daly is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But do you think, Jonah Hill's a bit of a method actor, it's to get into the role. How good would it to be your job over the next 6 months is to put on 25 kgs?
Oh, shit. I've read about this before. I've read about Robert De Niro and Russell Crowe when they get those jobs where you just got to pile in pounds. And they're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think, was it Russell Crowe that just went to Italy and just pounded pasta because he figured that was the best way to get fat for a role?
Just Google
but imagine
how to get
that
fat.
was your job. Like, all of us spend our whole life like questioning ourselves what we eat and drink, but then your job was to get fat. Should it be good?
So it'd be 6 months. It'll be great. It's probably the 2 years afterwards when you're trying to get rid of it. It'd be the trouble. But I'm looking forward to that. Jonah Hill will be. Well, because
Jonah Hill's done all that effort to lose the weight.
Yeah, I know.
And then he's going to have to put it back on.
Well, that's where they probably see someone he's got potential.
He's a good actor. He's got the
he's got the genes.
Yeah,
he's got the genes.
The fat cells are ready to go. They're keen.
I look forward to that. So next topic on the agenda: rugby. There's a shitload of rugby going on at the moment, and
NPC
rugby league
all over the shop,
and the Women's Rugby World Cup.
Oh yeah.
There's the Rugby League World Cup. There's the Women's Rugby League World Cup. But news out of New Zealand Hot Legs Houlihan.
Yeah.
George Bridge,
the
hottest man on two legs, is Gomberger. He's going to go
shaved legs.
Yeah, he's heading over, and you're saying, Matt Heath, he's picked the perfect time to fuck off.
I think in terms of his finances, he's 27 years old, and it's illegal to play as an outside back for the All Blacks after you're 27 years old.
Yeah. It's around 27, 28. You move closer in, don't you? You're centre, second, five.
Yeah. And he sort of probably doesn't have the physicality for that, so he can just go over and just cream it in France. Plus, the ladies are going to love him over there. Ooh la la.
And
so he might be able to get 6 years over there or something. 6 years of big money paydays.
And stick to France. Don't go to England. You might end up like the entire Wasps organisation.
Do you think Aaron Smith will ever get his payday? I was thinking about the other day, last time I saw him play. I think because he's been so loyal to the All Blacks. Japan's
always a good one because you can go over there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And you can go over there in your 30s and play for a couple of years. So he's probably more in that camp. But also Rico Ioane. He's staying till the end of next year, but he's most likely will fuck off as well.
Yeah.
But a good time to do it. In your mid-20s, you might as well.
Yeah, especially if you're operating at 11 or 14, no one's interested in you, and there's no 29-year-olds in that position for New Zealand.
That's right. And how good's the Rugby League World Cup? Like Jamaica, Lebanon, Greece.
So I was looking up Lebanon because I was following their game against the Kiwis, and they scored Like half time they had six points on the board, and then I realised they're all Australians.
All of them. I reckon 90% of this tournament is played by Australians.
Lebanon, what they do? I said, right, no, they're Lebanese people that live in Australia. They're all playing for the West Tigers. They're all
NRL players.
Yeah, NRL players.
Same with Greece. There's quite a big Greek population, especially in Melbourne, and anyone who plays league there, probably with any sort of Greek lineage, will get a cap for the
that's great
for the Greece team.
So the Lebanon international team didn't have to pay for any international flights for the games.
So pretty much,
just passes.
Australia do have about 5 teams in this rugby league World Cup, because Tonga, there's a lot of NRL players. Samoa, there's a lot of NRL players. And then you got Greece, Lebanon, and Australia. So they've got 5 teams in this Rugby League World Cup, Rugby League. And I think New Zealand, who are they playing up next? They played Lebanon first up, and I think they've got Scotland or something coming up. But it's like, I understand what Rugby League are trying to do. They're trying to grow it, but it seems like you could just fill out the form and you could play.
Yeah.
If you've got 13 players in a nation,
well, it's interesting how sort of huge rugby is in Australia, and north of England, and obviously a bit in New Zealand, but it just hasn't got the global reach of Union, does it?
No,
and I'm not quite sure why that is.
Yeah, well, it's a lot simpler game to understand. You think it would probably take off in the States ahead of rugby.
Yeah. But I think rugby's got that elitist sort of thing.
Oh, yes.
Like I think working class people in most parts of the world play soccer.
Yeah.
And then, in those places that people play rugby just to show off that they've got a, Land Rover and stuff.
Yeah, right. And good news, though, the women's All Blacks, I'd call them the women's All Blacks. I think they should just be called the All Black women.
The Women Blacks.
All Black men.
Hey, can I tell you another story from my time in Los Angeles?
Yeah, go for it.
I got into this Uber with this Latino guy, and he asked me where I was from. I said New Zealand. He goes, All Blacks.
Did you do Uber share?
No, he was the driver.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And he goes, from New Zealand. He goes, All Blacks, All Blacks. And I said, do you know them? And he goes, no one knows them here. He goes, I was watching, I walked into a room when I was little, and my mum was watching them, and I just loved them because of the cardio. Anyway, he knew everything about the All Blacks, and there's no mention. Rugby doesn't exist on the west coast of America. But he loved it so much that he had formed a Latino league where they meet in the weekend and play on this park, and they play rugby. And it just seems like something someone should do a freaking documentary on.
Out of all the Uber drivers, you get the one Uber driver, one.
And it was interesting because he said he played fly half, which isn't a very New Zealand thing to say. But like in terms of what you follow, so he must be following global rugby. Yeah, but he said they've got this league going, and he said we've got 6 teams in it now. And I said, are you all Latino? He goes, yeah. Like he didn't say it like that, but I'm not going to get involved in imitating accents.
Yeah, you're going to embroad in some.
But he was he was into it, and I just thought there was that, like if you imagine a documentary that people frickin' make. A league of Latino rugby players that had discovered it because one guy saw his mum watching the All Blacks on the TV.
And why do they like it so much? No pads, no.
He said to me, cardio.
Cardio.
He goes, I respect the cardio. I've gone into the accent.
I know.
Because he said like in NFL people goes they're just sprinters. They can run 100 meters.
Yeah.
He goes in football you run the whole game. You know, in tennis he goes he respects tennis as well because of the cardio.
I love that. He sounds like Mark Watson. Remember Mark Watson, the old Punisher on Radio Sport? He'd always go on about VO2.
Yeah.
And he'd always criticise cricket players for having lack of VO2.
Yeah. Well, this guy was criticising baseball players, and he goes, all American sports are just short. And he has a good point. In baseball,
they're explosive.
Explosive, yeah. It's all about explosive. And so he just leaned into the cardio. That's a lovely guy to go. But it was funny when he dropped me off on Sunset Boulevard outside the Mondrian Hotel. There was a large group of African Americans just hanging around, super flash giant dudes. Yeah. And when I got to the car, he was yelling, All Blacks, All Blacks, All Blacks, at me. So I got out of the car and I was like,
oh, God.
I was like,
pump the brakes.
I don't know. This seems like you're yelling All Blacks at a bunch of black people. Doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem like the right thing to do.
Well, it's better than he doesn't support the All Whites. That would have been worse. That would have been worse.
We might actually need to look at the names of our teams. I mean, what's wrong with New Zealand as a name for a team?
I agree, and I also agree with the fact what the Big Bash do, when it's like they've got, the Heat is their brand, and they have women's team, men's team, they have youth teams, all under Brisbane Heat brand.
Yeah.
I don't understand in New Zealand why women and men all have to have different branded, like in the cricket, they all got like, you got the Firebirds and the fucking whatever, the Ladybugs, or whatever. I don't know. They just changed them up. I don't know. Just
everyone got really excited about branding.
Yeah. It's just simplify it.
Yeah, and what people don't understand about branding is, say, like, the Rams are called the Rams, not for any other reason than the owners might want to move cities.
Correct.
That's why they call them, give them an extra name.
Yeah.
So, because if their name is Los Angeles, then they're stuck there.
Yeah.
But they call themselves the Rams, and then if they want to piss off to St. Louis, they can.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, like I was saying, the women made the quarterfinals of the Rugby World Cup, which is good for New Zealand because it's hosted in New Zealand.
Is England still favourites?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you caught any glimpses of the France and England are the two favourites.
Yeah.
It was a torrid affair. Oh, my God. The French defence was brutal. Like, they just withstood so much from the English. It was brutal to watch. And I was like, I don't know. I haven't seen that from any other team. So I think they're the two teams to beat.
Yeah.
And I think that was a dress rehearsal for the final. But hopefully not. If the Black Ferns can make the final, it would be epic because they'll sell out Eden Park again and it'll be a great time. If they don't make it, it might be a bit of a...
Yeah.
But there we go. Bloody Melbourne Cup sneaking up. All this shit sneaking up on me, Matt Heath. I don't know what to do. Cricket snuck up on me. The World Cup snuck up on me. It's fucking Melbourne Cup in a couple of weeks.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's the 1st of November. It's a Tuesday, so it's it's earlier than usual because it's on the 1st of November. But good news is because we've got the Boys Get Paid chaps as part of the ACC stable. Know their horses, know their punts. They're real good punts as well.
Know their ponies.
They know their ponies. They love their beers, and they are going to be hosting the first ever punt along. Now, I needed the punt along in my life because I don't know about you, Matt, but I've watched a lot of horse races.
Mm-hmm.
I've got no fucking idea what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm betting on the name.
Yeah,
and if the jockey's got a funny name, and what colour he's wearing, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys, they know their shit.
And the favourite never wins is the one thing you've got to remember in the Melbourne Club.
Yeah, and they know their shit. So from 3 till 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 1st of November, they're doing a punt along where you can watch along with them and they're going to give tips on all the races. And it's not just Melbourne Cup that's happening that day because there's going to be races in New Zealand, I think, in Pukekohe and down south as well. So it's an afternoon of racing. But if you do want to join us live, we're going to be at Shapiro's from 3 till 6. As well, getting on the beers there, and the TAB are hosting us there as well, and so are DB Export. So if you want to get along, text PUNT to 3236, and I know there's only a couple of tables left at Shapiro's for this because she's going to be
She's going to be a goodie.
She's going to be a beauty of an afternoon.
The Shapiro's, what a great place to watch the Melbourne Cup. That's awesome.
But we can have multiple races on multiple screens. And I tell you what, if you just get into the slipstream of the Boys Get Paid guys, you'll come out on top. Rightio. Also, just while I'm on the admin, Matt Heath, bloody cricket starts. The bloody last man stands starts. You haven't experienced last man stands outside of the Dulux Tradies 11, have you? But
no, I haven't really.
It's a great league. It's played all over New Zealand. It's like a business house league. It only takes 2 hours to complete. It's 8 man. Last man stands, i.e. you can bet on your own. We are sponsoring the Last Man Stands League, but if you're in the Auckland League, we've got ACC Team Shouts, which we turn up with a bunch of sweet merch and some wee treats, which we can't say legally, but they're sweet treats.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. We turn up to your game. We're going to kit your whole team out. Once a month, we'll do that through the entire summer. So if you're playing Last Man Stands in Auckland, give us a text LMS to 3236. Follow the link, and we could be turning up and shouting you with a bunch of goodies.
How good.
Now it's time to get into...
Toppa Plays of the Week. Brought to you by Leader NZ's Lasagna Toppa.
Now, Matt Heath, it's the Toppa Top Plays of the Week. I've got to show you a photo of someone because it is a spitting image of Spanners Watson playing for Holland, and it's none other than the son of Chris Pringle, and his name is Tim Pringle.
Tim Pringle.
Now, Tim Pringle, I have to give you a photo of Tim Pringle. Here he is here.
Tim Pringle. Looks just like my mate Spooge.
It's Spanners Watson.
Yeah,
that is Spanners Watson.
Yeah, how's he handy?
I'm not sure, but he's got a great lid. He's got Eddie the Eagle vibes. He's got Spooge vibes. He's got a ginger mop, and he's got the harsh mullet shaved sides, and he's got the milk bottle glasses as well. Chris Pringle written all over him. So he's one of our top three is Tim Pringle, Spanners Watson, playing for Holland. Hopefully they make the cut.
Dylan Cleaver on the BYC the other day had a pretty bold statement about him and said that he was a lot better than his dad, who also used to play. So I think he is pretty handy.
Save the last ball for Tim Pringle.
Yeah, well, also Chris Pringle, he hit out in Holland for a number of years, didn't he, playing for Holland? For some reason, he disappeared off the scene for a while. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened.
It's the number 2 on the Toppa top plays of the week. The great people of Christchurch, the great people of Canterbury, bringing back, Matt Heath, the full nude streak. At the cricket last week, there were multiple streaks, and they were in the nutty. No phones, no TikToks, just full nude, running. It was beautiful to watch.
Oh, how good. Yeah. I mean, if you're not nude, stay off the field, you know. If you're not nude or an official player or one of the staff, stay off the field. If you're nude, get on there.
Exactly. And also, the number 3 for the top plays of the week. I don't know if you caught it. Will O'Donnell's catch in the first Plunkett Shield.
Jesus.
It's one of those things now where slip fielding is not about just sitting on your fat ass at first slip and just waiting for one in the bread basket. If anyone goes to look like they're going to sweep, they have to do a speculator and sprint to the leg side. And you don't often see it. I think maybe I've seen Latham do it once in a test match or something, but he went from first slip and just sprinted across, and the ball was coming at pace, and he just threw the left mitt out.
Yeah,
it was a fucking great catch.
How did he know? Well, it's like he knew. It felt like he predicted.
Yeah, well, he would have looked like
premeditated.
It would have looked like a dick if he had, because he starts running. As soon as you see the batsman plant the front foot and the bat go up like a sweep shot.
That's when he started running. Yeah,
but he would have looked like a dick if suddenly you turn it around and reverse it. Right through first slip.
Right first. Well, the way things are going, people are going to start doing that. They're going to start doing fake shots to move the first slip.
Oh yeah, people are going to be like, people moving all over the crease. It's going to be annoying, but fuck. Great start to the Plunky Shield. I was at Eden Park yesterday, and fuck me, there was a howling wind going straight down the pitch.
Hey, I've got a prediction for the T20 World Cup.
Oh, yeah?
Australia wins it with a man cat.
That would be so Australian. That would be so good. And they'll claim it as well and say, mate, it's within the rules. And then the world will hate them.
Yeah, I could just picture it right now.
Oh, yeah. Like if you were losing to Australia in the final and you were 9 down and you weren't going to win, you'd just do it on purpose, wouldn't you? You'd go out of your crease and go, I fucking dare you. I fucking dare you to man cat.
Win it with a man cat. Yep.
Rightio. Attendance required this weekend, Matt Heath. There's a lot of Women's Rugby World Cup. There's a lot of Rugby League. You're not watching baseball anymore. The NBA's kicked off, which is good. And if you haven't checked out the NBA podcast, the Bench Warmers with the ACC, get on there, download and subscribe now. But it has to be the start of the T20 World Cup for you.
Yeah, that's that. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Saturday night. I'm deeply depressed about what happened with the Dodgers and like Doc Roberts. I don't know if you can be the coach anymore after that. You can't pull someone off. You can't change pitches during an at-bat. I didn't even know that was legal. And let a starter go fucking 6 innings. He's got no runs on the board. Let the fucking starter go 6 fucking innings, Doc Roberts. Do you have to fucking tinker?
Do you need a hug?
I need a hug. Visay wasn't even ready. He pulled him out of the bullpen. He'd only had about 3 warm-up throws. He was like, what? And threw him in there in the middle of someone fucking else's at-bat. And then he got tonked. It was hardly his fault.
Well, just try and make yourself feel better. New Zealand will make the final of the T20 World Cup, and Australia will win it with a man cat, and we'll hold it over them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
But it's me, you, and Di Henwood on Saturday night.
What a team.
It's the dream team. So join us 8 p.m. On Saturday, Sky Sport 9. Thanks for joining us. See you later.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.